Welcome to Daily Office Devotions. For every Monday through Friday, we ask how God might direct our lives from that day's scripture readings as given in the Book of Common Prayer. I'm Reggie Kidd, and I'm grateful to be with you this Wednesday of the 5th week of Easter. We are in year 1 of the Daily Office Lectionary. Alleluia, Christ is risen, the Lord is risen indeed, alleluia. Daniel. In today's reading, Daniel receives a detailed timeline of the coming struggle of God's people who will be returning from Babylon to Israel, the beautiful land. Daniel chapter 11, verse 16. The rest of the canonical histories of the Old Testament, Ezra and Nehemiah, and the latter prophets, Haggai, Zechariah, Zephaniah, Malachi, take us only through about 400 BC. Those books treat the return from exile, the rebuilding of Jerusalem and the temple, and further messianic expectations. Daniel is given a glimpse into the struggle that lies beyond those days. He foretells the intrigues that will allow evil powers under Antiochus IV Epiphanes to overwhelm God's people in 2nd century BC. Daniel chapter 11, verses 1 through 32a. Further, Daniel heralds the people's future deliverance when the Maccabees rise up to retake Jerusalem and the temple, 165 BC. Daniel chapter 11, verse 32b, and see 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verses 61 through 63. Beyond all this, Daniel predicts the season of persecution that will face God's people immediately prior to the resurrection of the dead, Daniel chapter 12. All this is described beforehand so that Israel and then the church will not lose heart, but will persevere with courage, hope, and faithfulness to the very end when God's kingdom and glory will prevail. Romans chapter 13. Our faith is not romantically innocent of the power of evil in the world. For that reason, immediately after the apostle tells believers that their task is to overcome evil with good, Romans chapter 12, he also tells them to receive the ministration of governing authorities because of government's God-given role in enforcing a measure of justice and social equilibrium in this fallen world, Romans chapter 13. Taxes due, even if inconvenient, are to be paid. Respect owed, even to unbelieving governors, is to be rendered. Romans chapter 13, verse 7. There's not a word offered for delegitimizing the pagan government under which Roman Christians lived, much less for committing insurrection against it. In fact, when Paul contemplates believers entering the public square, he expects them to be ready for every good work. That is, to seek to make a positive contribution and to be persuadable. Petharchein, Titus chapter 3, verse 1, translated be obedient in the New Revised Standard Version. The term connotes something more like be willing to listen to those with whom one disagrees and to weigh counter-arguments and alternative solutions. Luke. Thus, Jesus exhorts his followers not to hide their light under a jar or put it under a bed. Rather, they are to put it on a lampstand, so that those who enter may see the light. Luke chapter 8, verse 16. God's reality will eventually become evident, regardless of how long it takes, and regardless of how doubtful or foggy or confused things seem until then. Luke chapter 8, verse 17. In support of this truth, Luke recounts the way Jesus claims as intimate family, not just those who obviously are family by blood, but all those who hear him and follow him. Luke chapter 8, verses 19 through 21. Also in support of this truth, Luke recalls Jesus' mastery over the winds and the waves. Regardless of whether our influence seems great or small, we are privileged to represent the one who calls us his own and who is Lord over every situation. We can be confident that sooner or later, nothing that is hidden will not be disclosed. Luke chapter 8, verse 17. May we walk in the light of this wonderful and life-giving truth. Be blessed this day.